Howdy folks, it's Untitled Chapter here and welcome back to another texture pack update video for Minecraft 1.17 where I build my own textures and show you what I've done and talk about them in way too much detail. Today we're going to have an enormous update today. Doesn't mean it's going to be a super long video, but an enormous number of updates to talk about because I've completed everything for 1.17, which means this is the last 1.17 video as well. But no fear, we will have 1.18 soon enough. Anywho, I sound like I'm reading the script, but I'm not. Anywho, I did all the 1.17 stuff. I got unstuck, and then I did a bunch of other things that aren't part of 1.17 as well, which I can't wait to show you. But that's also why we're starting in a cave, so I don't give away too much at once. So what should we start with first? Well, first as we climb out of the cave, you will see I have my own dirt texture. I became unstuck with the dirt, and I love my dirt texture. I'm not going to talk about the coloring because then you can't unsee it. I'm just going to say I love the coloring of my dirt. And if those of you are saying, oh my gosh, that looks like red craft dirt. No, it doesn't. If I stuck the red craft dirt and the default dirt next to this, this is 100% my own. I just want to be very clear about that. This is 100% my own coloring, my own texture, my own photo, my own everything. And it blends so well. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of that. I just want to stare at dirt and build with dirt all the time. Which means in 1.18 when they do mud, we'll be taking this to make mud, right? Planning ahead. Alrighty, so dirt. What does that mean then if I did dirt? Well, that means I was forced to do grass, and I was forced to do snow, and I was forced to do path. And yeah, I think that's it. Because I can't take the red craft grass and stick it on top of my dirt. I have to be my own thing. IP, intellectual property. Alright, so there you can see the side of my grass, right? Look at that, real grass. There's some more grass, not these things. That's still red craft, which whatever, that just sits on top. But there you go, you can get a peek at the grass. Does not look like real grass because it is real grass. Coming up here, ta-da, look at my own grass texture. Now I know it might be a little, whoa, I'm giving away, oh my gosh, I'm giving away everything. I just left everything set up because it took so long. I know you might, well, let's just do this. I know, also the coloring is Minecraft. I could go in and change the coloring, but it's default coloring. Okay, see how that works. Where was I? Oh, you might say, geez, Turtle, that's a little busy. Well, first of all, it's photorealistic. So I had to compromise between making it less busy with bigger blades of grass, but then it looked like we were ants stuck in a lawn that needed to be mowed. If I made it smaller, then it was a whole bunch of green dots. It was horrible on the eyes. Couldn't even tell it was grass. So this is the compromise we ended up with. It looks like grass. I cannot believe it. I spent quite a bit of time on this, actually. I'm trying to find where there's not this grass growing on top of it, though. I guess over here by my test world, but I don't want to give away anything else. Oh boy, here we go. Let's just go like this. There we go. See, it's grass. Now you might be saying, oh, geez, Turtle, there's a pattern. Of course there is, because if there's not a pattern, I tested this. If I got rid of the stripe pattern, it hurt your eyes so bad. It was like, it made me want to get nauseous. It didn't make me want to get nauseous. It made me nauseous. So the striping is there, but if you think about real life, people pay big money to attach lawn stripers to the back of their lawnmowers, so they get lawn striping when they mow. That is a real thing. Look it up. Especially for you young ones there that don't do your own lawn care. Yeah, I don't do it myself, but it's a real thing. This way, you get striping too. So this looks like someone mowed the lawn, right? So it's forgivable. Has some texture to it too, which is super important. See the texture? Look where my shadow is. Doesn't it look like it's 3D grass? It's not crazy. Look under the cursor block. That's outlined. Look right there when I move the cursor up. Doesn't it look like 3D grass sticking up? Look at that. So it's exactly what I wanted to accomplish, and I'm so freaking happy with it. It is a little busy on the eyes at first, but then you get used to it in 5 minutes, and it's wonderful. And there you go, single block of grass right there up close. Look at that. And then blending with the dirt, my own dirt texture. Look at this. So what does that mean if I had to do grass? Oh, if I had to do dirt, so I had to do grass, and then I had to do grass on the side of the dirt. And that's nothing to write home about, but it is a detail I had to do. That also means I had to do snow, because if we had to do dirt, I had to do snow, or else you'd have different texture packed dirts at once. So here we go. Here's my snow made out of real snow, taken from a photo when my kid, when he was a baby, my oldest kid, 13 years ago, was a baby touching snow for the first time. That's where this came from. And come here. How hard is it to how hard is it to do this? And why is the grass growing up here? Anyway, so that's where this came from, the snow. There's a little bit of pattern to it. Eliza was just white and washed out. So I left a little pattern, because with no pattern, it was looked like someone took one white thing and paintbrushed the whole thing. So there's a pattern, and it looks like snowdrifts, right? So if you look at the pattern at this angle, does it look like little snowdrifts? I'm so happy about that too. Look at that. And then that means I had to do dirt with snow. That's your texture there, and then a little frost line. Just a little frost line. And I played with how much snow and how much frost, and even though this might not look ideal at first glance, when I played with it, this ended up being the best. So a little bit of frost line, a little bit of snow. I'm so freaking pleased. I could scream. Because I thought this was going to be a very difficult, horrible thing. But once I got the dirt figured out, the rest just fell into place. So there you go. One more thing, though, because I had to do... Oh, gosh, don't look at all the spoilers down there. And yeah, the anti-aliasing from far away looks kind of goofy because of my grass. But we want photorealistic grass. So we're normally not flying around like this anyway. Maybe with Elytra, but I don't use Elytra much. But if you're down your work and doing your thing, right? No anti-aliasing to worry about, at least not on a 1440p monitor or better. If you did 1080p, you might have some problems, but high-res texture pack, high-res monitors, it's fine. It looks fine for me. Don't know how it's coming through for you, but it's fine. But anywho, the last thing we had to do was path. Now, this is a photo of a real path by my real house. That's how I got this. I didn't have to do much to it except make the blocks contiguous, so you don't see much of a pattern. Otherwise, it's wood chips and leaves, and I love it. Now, I know the default path in Minecraft is really yellow, so I did actually make this a little yellower than my real life path. So if you saw a picture of the real path, well, this is a real path, but before I altered it, it was like white compared to this. So this is a great compromise. I didn't want it to be too yellow, because this wouldn't look natural if it were yellow, right? So that's what we're ending up with again, and then on the side of the dirt. Isn't that so cool? I just cannot believe I did this. I can't believe it. I do admit I'm still getting kind of used to it. But when you stop and you're working and you're looking around, it looks like the grass is sticking up. At least it does to me. I don't know how it looks to you on your device. But it actually looks like right there. It looks like this grass is actually sticking up. It looks 3 freaking D. I feel like I'm walking in actual grass. It is so crazy. The only downside, again, is if you're like way up here flying. Then you can kind of see some anti-aliasing thing, but whatever. It's not too bad. It just looks like sun rays coming through the clouds, right? Alrighty, so that's the grass, the dirt, the snow, the path, all that stuff. I'm so happy with it. Oh, farmland. I did not have to do farmland because that's a separate texture that's unrelated to this texture. So I'm just gonna I'll let the red craft stuff juxtapose itself. I'm not using it, so I'm not stealing anything. It's just the way Minecraft textures work. This is a separate texture from that. It's just sitting on top. But I'll do it sometime. I did want to do sand this time around, but if I did sand, which I have a great sand texture started, then I'd have to do sandstone and the chiseled and this and the that, and I'd have to do all the variants, which I might do when I do my 118 set, but I don't know. The red craft sand is so good, I don't really want to mess with it. At least not right now. What else is there to talk about? Let's see, we did all the dirt. Oh yeah. Rooted dirt then. Here we go. Here's my rooted dirt. Real roots in dirt. So it looks like the roots are not on top. Doesn't look like they're inside. It looks like they're pressed in, right? But that's so we can see them. If I like pressed them in further and put dirt on top of them, then they wouldn't look like roots. They would look like a mess. So in real life, we would see it with dirt, and then the roots coming in and out. But it doesn't translate that well to Minecraft. I tried. So that's rooted dirt we're going to get. And it kind of followed the pattern of the default rooted dirt too. So that's what we get. Now if you imagine that under an azalea tree, right, the tree will come down and then the roots will go out. That's what that is intended for. And if we come up here and we put dirt out here like this, put a hanging dirt in there, a rooted dirt I mean, and then all of a sudden we get hanging roots that come down. I know they don't line up, but that's because the Minecraft JSON doesn't line up. That's not me. They just don't line up. That's just how it works. But anyway, from down here it looks fine. See, the two complement each other very, very nicely. Look at that. Otherwise, you want to see the hanging roots by themselves. That's what they look like all by themselves. But there it is in application, because you would have an azalea tree with rooted dirt with hanging roots, right? That's how that would work. So there you go. Very straightforward, I guess, but a lot of work on those textures. What else? Okay, we're going to do over there right in a minute. To the right. Just don't look that way yet. Candles. 17 candles times 3, which was what? 17? I did the math wrong in the last update. 17 times 2 is 34. 17 times 3 is then 51, right? 17 times 3 is 51. And why are there 51? Because you have 16 colors plus the default. You have them unlit and lit and is an item. So 3 textures per color, 16 colors plus the 17th color, which is default. So there you go. This took a long time. They use this real candles. I did this with real candles, and I matched the default as best as I could. Let's go through them here. I believe that's the default one. Off, lit, and texture and item. There's white. That's probably orange. That's probably magenta, I would think, whatever. Blue, yellow, green. Nope, that's lime. This is pink, obviously, black. Here they are in a cluster for black, and the textures are different. I guess I'm going kind of quickly, but you can see lit and unlit are different. See how that works? And then red, and then green, brown, blue, purple, cyan, which I matched the default cyan as best as I could. Actually, if I look at that one, it was spot on. Light, lit, and then item, and then gray, or light gray and gray. There we go. So then if you just want to pick one up, boom, you have it in your hand. Right? Looks like a candle because it is made from a real candle texture, see? Real candle. So there you go. This took me forever to do and forever to set up, and we're done talking about candles. But there you go. That's what the candles look like. What else? We have a few random items here. Let me get those set up. Let's see, what do we need to do? Let's get our item frame set up. A couple of them, actually. And then we have our snow bucket, our powdered snow bucket. Now, powdered snow is already a texture in 117. I don't know if it's being used or not, but it's already there. I did not do that texture yet. But I'll just take my regular snow texture and alter a little bit so you can see it, because I believe the default texture is a little different than the snow texture, so you can tell the difference. And I'll do something similar. So there, oh, I see an error, which I'm not going to point out. I have an error in my snow bucket, which I don't know if I can fix the way I rendered that down. Whatever, no one's ever going to notice. Forget it. But there's an error there. There's my snow bucket. Here's my spyglass. On the frame is an item and in your hand, and if you go like this, there it is. There it is, looking at you, looking at you, looking at you. And if you go like this, I also did a custom frame for it too. Although you don't get to see the super cool details because they're actually off screen, but there is my spyglass window. And the spore blossom. Come on, there we go. Look at that. Let's get rid. Whoops. Whatever. We'll just go like that then. It is so gorgeous. Isn't that an amazingly gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I'm so pleased. I was so scared to get that right because I know people love these things so much. I didn't want to screw it up. So there's your spore blossom. And here we are in the geode area. Remember what we did with the 3D-ness and everything. And now we have our clusters and buds. I'm pretty excited how these turned out because I wasn't sure how I was going to do this. But we have small bud, medium bud, large bud, and cluster of amethyst. And there you go. I wasn't going to make them bright purple, but then they just kind of stood out too much. So we have them here. I guess not too much to write home about. I did keep the exact same shape as the default, just so they're more recognizable. And I think it worked out well. So what does the bud look like? Well, it's very subtle. It's just right here. All it is basically if you take the cluster and have it barely start to grow, just a little raised ridge where it's going to start growing. This is it right there. That is your bud. Very, very subtle, but as it should be. And then Your clusters grow on top. Last but not least is our Lush Forest things. We're going to kind of see it all at once here. I'll let you look at that. But first of all, big drip leaf. There you go. It's a wet leaf, right? With this cool little small but firm stem. And of course you go on it and it knocks you down. And there's the stem coming through. And then the little drip leaf. I don't know if you can jump on this one or not. I can't remember. I don't think so. But there you go. Those actually took a heck of a lot of time. It's like this on the sides just because of the default. But there you go. And then we have the Azalea Bush. Now, Azalea bushes in real life, the leaves seem to be really far apart. I didn't have the right leaf, but I did close enough. And I made sure they're far apart. They're not really thickly packed together, but the Minecraft texture implies they're like blankets of lush greenery. But they're not. They're really far apart in real life. So, I wish I had real azalea leaves. If I ever find real azalea leaves, I will redo this. But for now, that's as close as I could get with the spacing and everything. So there's your bush. There's your flowering azalea bush. Here is the bush planted. You can see the little thing under there. And here is the flowering bush planted. And then here's your azalea tree. It does use the oak wood, I believe. But there is the azalea tree. Again, spaced out leaves. And the flowering azalea on leaves. Now look at this with shaders. Has nothing to do with texture pack, but notice the grass and the trees wave. This tree does not wave. So there's something in the coding that makes this different. But anyway, there you go. So that's it. That is 1.17. Everything is done in 1.17. And then I did some bonus things like all the dirt types. I should say dirt and all the variants. And then variants also meaning this which I already did. That's coarse dirt, by the way. That, this, that, the other thing, and the grass, and the stone. Remember I did stone. So I didn't get to sand this time around. I didn't get to andesite, diorite, and granite this time around. I didn't get to the variants of the stone, like the cobblestone, the bricks, and all that, whatever. That's all covered by Redcraft. Those of you who don't know, I run Redcraft as like my base. I convert Redcraft. I'm keeping it going, folks. I'm converting that one as my base, my foundation. But then I'm making my own texture pack, which nicely sits on top, but is not required to sit on top, and otherwise has nothing to do with Redcraft. The IP, the intellectual property, is completely separate. But it does work nicely together. Otherwise, that's it. So what comes next? Well, I do plan on doing the other stones and sand someday. But 118 is coming up soon. And 118, we're going to have a new wood type, but I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. The wood types for the nether were easy because they're more like fantastical. So that was easy to do. But I'm going to have to do a new wood type as well as some other block types I'm kind of nervous about doing. But like every Minecraft version, I get really nervous about how I'm going to do it. And it ends up being okay. Every single time, it's fine. But so that's going to be it for my Minecraft texture pack updates for a while, because I'm not going to start 118 until it's final, because they make changes all the way up until the last minute, so it's not really worth it to start yet, at least not for me. And I haven't been playing recently, so I want to play more. So like, subscribe, so you can be notified when the next texture pack update video is. It won't be until after 118 is final. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this series. Check out the Eternia series as well as Flight Simulator stuff, where I tell a lot of stories. And I'll see you next time.